Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to week 11 of Jets episode on winning picks. Oh my God, the Knicks Jets itself. Winning picks weekly. We just recorded the NFL episodes. We did the full slate there. Go check that out. But we are here for week 11 of the New York Jets. Man, Greg, coming off a tough loss versus the Vegas Raiders. The whole world ready to honestly to fire everyone, right? Fire the OC, fire the coach, cut the quarterback, with nothing to show for it, right? On the other side, this week, honestly, we kind of saw that happen. It sucks that again we're in the same spot, Greg. It just happened with the Vegas Raiders where they fired their head coach McDaniels, and they got Antonio Pierce, beat the Giants, beat the Jets, both games at home, and now they're off to Miami. Here we have the Bills, who inexplicably lost that game. I can't believe they lost that game versus Denver. I mean, I had Denver winning that game. I did not have it really going that way.
Yeah.
Or they'd have a 12th man on the last play of the game. Kind of insane. But here we are. They fire their offensive coordinator because of a special teams blunder and because their offense is looking bad. And now they have Joe Brady. And their backs are against the wall. They are desperate. But then so are the New York Jets, Greg. The New York Jets, no matter how you feel about this season, no matter how you feel about the last couple of games, the fact is, if the Jets win the next two games, they are staring at the AFC East. Staring at. Starts here. It starts in Orchard Park. The Orchard Park Bills of Buffalo beat them week 1 at home. Aaron Rodgers goes down play number 4. Stadium was wild. I was there firsthand. Xavier Gibson sends me home. New York Jets record me and put me on social media.
100 times now.
Craziest day ever. Now we're in week 11. I would say AFC East is on the line, or better yet, to be honest and really more forthright with it, it's lose or go home. Whoever loses this game has really, I don't know what the percentage is. In John's world, less than 10% chance of making the playoffs, including if it's the Jets. You get less than 10% because the wild card, yes, the AFC North is eating themselves, especially with the injuries, and they're everybody has the hardest schedule ever in the AFC North, which makes no sense. The Dolphins have the hardest schedule, and those are the teams that you're staring at. We have the tiebreaker over Denver. Yes, the Chargers and the Raiders are there, but again, they play each other. But the division here is here for the taking. You really want the division here, man. Miami Dolphins are scary, but worry about that next week. Here we got the Buffalo Bills. They're reeling, and the Jets did not make changes to their offensive coordinator, but they did make some shakeups to their offensive roster from what we know. And thank God, Greg, it's honestly 11 weeks too late. Something that I've been screaming about from literally day 1 of this season. And that is, what in the world is Michael Carter doing on third down? Why is he in the game? Why is Michael Carter here? This is Izzy's time to shine. This is a long time coming. There's other changes that we don't know about. We could hypothesize that it's Dwayne Brown. We could hypothesize that it's maybe Alan Lazard moving. It could be Jeremy Ruckert. Those are that's the only things we could think of, right? And kind of would be nothing too much of a crazy, but that's the whole offense, right? We just said offensive line, wide receiver, and tight end after the running back room just got moved. So that's the whole team. What else is
but
there?
The quarterback, the one thing the fans are clamoring for.
Where are you gonna go? We could sit here and cry all day that we didn't get Josh Dobbs. Some are gonna argue we already have no draft picks next year, so why give any up, especially if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. That some may argue, like you, that Josh Dobbs doesn't really get any wins except for the first game that he gets in there. We told Carson Wentz to go home twice. We're clearly good. We're just gonna stay. We're holding. What do you think about this week, Greg? What do you think about the outlook of the Jets? You see what happened with the Raiders after they fired their coach. You see the Bills on the other side doing the same thing with their offensive coordinator. You see the Jets making moves with Michael Carter. What are your thoughts on all these on just, the movements? What do you think about the Jets outlook this week? What are your thoughts, man? It's Thursday night. Sunday's right around the corner. Almost a standalone 4:00 game. The whole world's gonna be watching, man. It's
Yeah.
kind of scary. Everybody's watching the Bills, waiting for them to crumble with Joe Brady, and everybody's waiting for the Jets to crumble. Everybody's waiting for that 22-18 finish that obviously the Jets are gonna win it at.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. It's been a tough week, tough 2 weeks for the Jets, and I definitely think that changes on Sunday. I think this defense has something figured out on this offense. I get that Joe Brady's coming in, but with 1 week of prep here, I don't expect too much. I mean, people talk about Joe Brady at LSU and everything like that. They forget that he was in Carolina and stunk. So, sure. I mean, he's going to be good eventually, maybe with his offense, but you could scheme up whatever you want. Something's not right with his offense. I'm not sure what it is. I want to say it's Josh Allen, but I'm sure it's more than that. Um, and this defense has played well against him for years now, not just earlier this season. So that's one thing to factor in. I can't believe that we just did winning picks weekly. I can't believe that we're 7-point underdogs. I think that's
Crazy.
crazy. The Bills have been reeling. I think that the Jets measures, the Jets changes that we're making are much more measured and tame because we know this season is so off the rails because of Aaron Rodgers' injury. We don't want to change too much because we were very happy going into the season with what we had. Other teams like Oakland, and the Buffalo Bills, you're not sure what's working or what's not working. The Jets are kind of in this weird, I feel like almost like cryogenic, just freeze of the team. Everyone stay healthy, and we're just gonna try to get to the playoffs here and just try to stay healthy and ready for Aaron Rodgers. And if Aaron Rodgers can come back this season, we'll put him in the lineup and we'll be good to go because we think we have the team that's going to be good with Aaron Rodgers. We think Garrett Wilson, he has 2 touchdowns on the season. We think he's going to have 12 touchdowns with Aaron Rodgers. Breece Hall has less rushing yards than Cook on the Buffalo Bills. We think Breece Hall will be a top 10, top 5 running back in terms of yardage with Aaron Rodgers. So we don't want to make crazy changes. We're okay with cutting the 3rd string running back, but we're not okay with firing the offensive coordinator, firing the head coach, or sending Zach Wilson to Timbuktu. Just everyone calm down. We think we have the team. It's just the problem is that 90% of the team went down with an Achilles tear on the fourth play. So
I
we
mean,
have to just
and
hold.
AVT.
But yeah,
In
but
Denver.
AVT is 1% of AVT is 1% of the equation. The AVT is a huge loss, and it's starting to be concerning. He's been injured a couple times. There's a lot of factors that have gone into. We're definitely off the rails, but Aaron Rodgers is 90% of it. There's still other contributing factors for sure, but I think that's why it's not anything crazy. I think that's why Robert Saleh has kind of been pretty moderate in his responses to stuff. I think that's why you're not seeing crazy things like CJ Uzomah just getting benched in the middle of games, because it's all if Aaron Rodgers was here right now, we'd be up by 3 touchdowns. But because he's not, we're on a backup quarterback. So everyone just calmed down. And the Jets fan base just can't do that. And the New York media or the national media can't do that. That was interesting to see Aaron Rodgers talk about that on the Pat McAfee show. I don't know if it was this week or last week. I can't remember now. But talk about how the Giants are worse than the Jets.
I mean, that
And no one
question was
talks about it.
That question was teed up
Yeah.
by one of the guys
AJ. Yeah.
on Pat McAfee, where he literally wanted Aaron Rodgers to say the words, "The Giants suck. Why is nobody talking about them?" So that's a little barstool play there. But
Yeah.
listen, Aaron Rodgers on TV every Tuesday on ESPN. Everybody's
Yeah.
watching. That's why this is the story, man. So let's just move on from that and let's stick to this Sunday. We have Zach Wilson. We have hopefully Breece Hall getting more touches now. Hopefully things start changing,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a lot of
Hopefully some targets. Like, hopefully that we throw the ball to Breece Hall a couple times. It seems to work out. I don't get why we're so shy to do it.
yeah. What's the word? It's like I don't want to compare this to basketball, but it feels like a little Tibbsy, right? Where it's like Coach Tibbs of the Knicks, where there's a lot of stinginess with the coaching, right? Like Breece Hall, you're not going in on third down, regardless of what happens. Like, why not, dude? Just play
Yeah.
Breece Hall. Like, there's no way by week 11 we're thinking about his knee especially after all he's been doing. Like, there's no way we're thinking about his snap count. Just put him in the game. You know what I mean? That has to be where we're at. We're in desperation mode. Our backs against, like, put Dalvin Cook in. Like, it's fine. He's been doing better.
Yeah.
If you don't want him in on third down because you're scared of his blocking, then put Breece Hall in. Just put Breece Hall in. There's no way he doesn't want to be in there. Put Izzy in on first down. Like, we don't have to, like, if it's an obvious run situation, put in Breece at this point. And get CJ out of there. We're done with the feelings, dude. No more feelings, Greg. I'm done with it. Alan Lazard, I'm done with your feelings. Like, he's got to move down the depth chart. He has to. He's not catching balls. Like,
he's not even trying.
Let me ask you a stupid question. Stupid. Do we sign Robbie Chosen Anderson just to have on the practice squad or no? Stupid question. Okay. So from our perspective, what happens if we move Alan Lazard out? There's Garrett Wilson at the 1, and suddenly with Corey Davis retiring, with Alan Lazard stinking because of his injury, and we have Xavier Gibson, Randall Cobb better be in there. Honest to God, Randall Cobb better be in there. He better. And that's going to be our number 2, and I guess I'm okay with it for 1 week. It's not going to be great. Xavier Gibson, are you looking at Malik Taylor and Brownlee? Malik Taylor has been getting some throws. It looks like we have a play call that's called Malik Taylor run 45 yards and hopefully get a pass interference. It worked one. We're 1 for 2.
We love it late in the game.
50%.
Yeah. Yeah. Late in the game, Malik Taylor gets in there and tries to get a pass interference call. I mean, it's crazy to see it week after week. It's been what's happening. Yeah, I think it's just you got to move Xavier Gibson up until you see something else. Like you said, it's not about contracts. It's not about feelings. It's about seeing something on the field, seeing guys play with effort. And Alan Lazard, maybe he's banged up, so he can't go 100%. That's why he's not moving towards the ball. That's why he's lollygagging on his routes. All right, then you're injured. Then you can't play. Like, we need guys that could run the routes, like with some pace and with some energy here. So Xavier Gibson, I feel like he's been up to the task every time we've asked him to do something. I feel like he's looked pretty good. So at least get him out there, and then I think you move up Brownlee or Malik Taylor or someone, and or get Randall Cobb off the sidelines and dressed and ready to go, and be like, dude, you got to play this week. I'm sorry you haven't played the last 4 weeks, but we're paying you money. Like, you have to do something here. What's going on?
I just don't know where the solution is, man. And it's so crazy because
the honest truth
is, and Greg, I want to remember this moment for when I'm in the offseason thinking about how to maneuver this team. Like, I was thinking that Lazard was like this extra pick. It was like this luxury pick, surplus pick. And here we are. Like, not only is he not a surplus because we have nobody beside him, we have nobody to replace him. I mean, there's just nobody there. And the same thing with the defensive line, it feels like, right? It's like we had so many guys, but Carl Lawson's not being active every week. Seems like he's just here to hang as a just in case depth. Will McDonald's not really being active. He's really only active because of special teams. Like, really, maybe the depth is really not what we thought. What we think. Clemens, messed up a couple, with the penalty.
I don't think
didn't pick up the fumble.
Dude, I think the defensive line is completely fine. I mean, they were so dominant in that Raiders game. It was unbelievable to watch. Compared to the wide receiver side, I agree. I think Lazard was everyone was going nuts about Lazard. I just don't see it. I never saw it. I don't get it. He's never put up crazy statistics, so I don't know where all of a sudden Lazard is going to be this unbelievable
What do you
guy.
mean? He's looked amazing with Aaron Rodgers, dude. That don't do the
He's
don't do the
averaging. He puts up 500 yards a season, John. 500.
what's his. We'll do some research for our next episode,
I
depending
did it
on how
last
Lazard does.
episode. I looked it up. I looked up his season by season stats.
Yeah, but what's his stats with Rodgers? Specifically with Rodgers. Because remember, Rodgers got hurt with Lazard too one of those years. Anyway, dude, let's not forget that Alan Lazard got put down to the practice squad at one point. And then he talked about the story that Aaron Rodgers stuck up for him to come back up.
But again, you're talking about one season, which I'm not sure what season it was that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. But Alan Lazard has played every season since 2019. 2019, he had 477 yards. In 2020, he had 450 yards. In 2021, he had 513 yards. Last season, he had 788 yards. That's it.
Oh, no. I'm talking about 2017. Rodgers was hurt.
Alan Lazard wasn't even in the league.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he averages 500 yards a season and 2 touchdowns. Like, I don't get this whole crazy thing. Like, Devonta Adams wasn't there last season in Green Bay, and he got 800 yards. Like, Garrett Wilson did more than that in his rookie year with Zach Wilson. Like, the real problem is that everyone thought Alan Lazard was going to be this unbelievable guy. He's not. He's Corey Davis 2.0. And then Corey Davis.
I wish it was Corey Davis. I wish it was Corey Davis.
I agree. And then Corey Davis retired, which if he needed to retire, I'm happy that he did that. But that's an unexpected loss going into the season that you don't see coming before the season even starts. So all of a sudden, if Lazard's out and Corey Davis is gone, you're out of options. You're down to practice squad guys. No shots at Xavier Gibson. He's played well.
I'm reeling this back in. How are the Jets on offense going to win this game versus the Buffalo Bills, who've been pretty bad on defense without Milano? Looks like Micah Hyde is going to play. Trey White obviously out. How are the New York Jets with all this nonsense behind this? Can't score a touchdown, 8 touchdowns, 9 games. Worst third down team in 50 years. Only team in the NFL that didn't score on the touchdown on the first drive. Scored our first 3 points on the first drive last week. If we scored 20 points, we'd be undefeated for the last 7 seasons. All this stuff, Greg, right? Obviously, the last one's an exaggeration.
It's close, though.
How are the Jets going to win this game?
It's very simple, John. Don't turn the ball over. If we don't turn the ball over on offense, we're going to be completely fine in this game. It is going to be disgusting. It is going to be Big Ten football. I've been saying it every week since week 1. We are going to run the ball. We are going to try to pass the ball. Some of those will be converted. Most of them won't. Zach Wilson's going to run the football when he needs to. And we're going to win this game 17-7. And it's going to be ugly. And it's going to be disgusting, or 13-7. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be on the back of Greg the Leg, and we're just not gonna turn the ball over on offense. That's how we win the game. It's not rocket science. I think it's pretty straightforward. Everyone's freaking out about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's not turning the ball over. When Zach Wilson doesn't turn the ball over, we're in games. The problem is that we also need to score some freaking touchdowns, and it's tough to watch this team week in, week out in the NFL not score touchdowns. It's frustrating. I get it.
It's not week in, week out. It's year in, year out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem. Literally year in, year out.
That's true.
But yeah, we got to run the rock with Brees. We got to get those carries up. Zach got to not turn over the ball. I mean, every game we won the turnover battle.
That's simple.
It really is that simple. We got to not lose in special teams. If we win in special teams, we win the game easy. If we run back, if we score on special teams, we score on defense, we win. You can't expect it. However, it hasn't happened in a while. I don't really expect 3 interceptions by Jordan Whitehead to win the turnover battle.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, it would be nice. I don't expect Xavier Gibson to score a touchdown, especially a walk-off, but it would be nice.
Yeah.
The real way to win this game is we need an extra blocker on the right. I would just get CJ out of there, put Conklin and Ruckert, and we haven't talked about him yet. My boy is active, Greg. The tight end from Ole Miss,
Let's go.
Kenny Yeboah. You thought he was dead all these years. You thought this undrafted free agent was a joke, Greg. He's back. I wish I had like his rookie card. I deserve his rookie card. I deserve to be gifted his rookie card.
You've been
That's
talking
my
about him for years.
and Lawrence Cage getting touchdowns for the Giants. So funny. Anyway, Kenny Yeboah, not much of a blocker, more of a catcher. Maybe the Jets see him as a better catcher than Conklin and Ruckert. Probably right. Worse blocker. Let's get an extra tight. If we don't have an extra wide receiver, Greg, I was trying to kind of get at this. If we're gonna downgrade Lazard, let's say he's gonna just get less snaps, but you can't really replace him because you don't really have anyone to replace him, right? Maybe Randall Cobb, maybe Xavier Gibson, but we're really talking about like it's just Garrett Wilson, right? Let's be real. We've seen Conklin in the slot. We've seen Kenny Yeboah catch balls.
Yep.
I'm wondering if we just start doing 2/3 tight end sets with Garrett Wilson, just figuring it out because our tight ends can get open probably better than our third and fourth wide receivers, right? At least the same. Like, I don't think that's a knock. I don't think that's a knock on like Conklin and Gibson. They should be they get open probably the same rate and catch at the same rate if you like really break it down, right? And so I feel like having an extra blocker, bigger guy, getting the mismatch. I really feel like that's how we're going to win this game because that's where they're deficient, Greg. They're deficient in their linebackers. So you're going to run the ball, you're going to attack their linebackers with our tight ends, which is our strength. We got that for me is how to win this game. On the other side, okay.
One little thing before we move to the other side, and little dump off passes to Breece Hall.
Of course,
I've watched Derek Carr throw the ball to Alvin Kamara 100 times this season. You're telling me we can't find 5 passes to Breece Hall, and maybe he does something with it. Maybe he breaks it for 50 yards and a touchdown like he did that one game. Maybe he gets tackled for no gain, but at least give him the opportunity. At least give him the ball in space.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because what I was about to say, Greg, is the other side. My transition was exactly what we're trying to do with our offense with the tight ends, exactly what the Bills are going to want to do against us with Kincaid.
Sure.
But also, their little tidbit at the end, that's exactly what they're going to want to do also is get their running backs underneath our linebackers. And yes, we do have two of the top linebackers in the league this year. I agree. However, they allow passes. Like the way to beat the Jets secondary, which they play zone, is to find a mismatch on the linebackers. In this case, it's going to be Kincaid or it's going to be Stephon Diggs finding the area here. And we know one thing about Stephon Diggs, him and Gardner, they like to go at each other, man. I can't call him, Greg, remember that little thing we had, we meaning the Jets, when Gardner first signed, they said they're not going to call him by his nickname. They're going to start calling him Ahmad Gardner.
Yep.
I think I'm back to that. I think I'm back to Gardner, man. Until you get me a turnover, you're not Sauce. Get me a turnover, you could be Sauce, dude. You're not Sauce, dude. You're just a cornerback. Like he's just a guy. Like Craig James has more turnovers than you. We cut him. Give me a turnover. I'll start calling you Sauce. Right now, we got Gardner, we got DJ Reed. It's gonna be a division battle that we're used to, man. It's gonna be gritty. It's gonna be loud in Orchard Park. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be dark. Like 4:30 in Buffalo it might as well be 10 p.m. It's gonna be dark in this game, man. I'm telling you, it's a night game. This is a night game in Buffalo. Something that we're not taking into account. And backs are against the wall. You got to guard Kincaid. You got to hold down the run. Nobody can run against us. Just hold down the run. Watch Stephon Diggs versus Gardner. Don't let your ego get into it. And on the other side, they're fragile, Greg. They're fragile. Yeah. Stephon Diggs' brother who's in the NFL, who's out for the season with the Cowboys, is tweeting. Stephon Diggs saying, I don't speak for him. He's just a fan. Things are on the brink in Buffalo. Yeah, we have to take advantage. We have to take advantage, man. Like, get into Diggs' head. You know what I'm saying? Have him get a penalty on us. Like that's how you win this game, man. You got to be gritty. You got to show the Buffalo Bills that we own you. You could literally smash the Buffalo Bills. It's like the first time, man, that the Jets could actually take down a team. Like I don't know how else to say. Like we could actually put a stamp on a franchise because if the Bills lose to the Jets with their schedule coming up, and they have a gauntlet coming up, and they
Yeah.
just fired their OC, they lose to the lowly Jets who can't score touchdowns. I mean, that's it. It's over. It's over for them. And we're staring at the AFC East with Miami. It becomes we have the tiebreaker. You know, we beat them twice, and now we're playing Miami. So it's a big game, man. This is as prime time, quasi prime time as it gets.
Think of how crazy the narrative's going to be if we win this game by like 2 touchdowns. Like if we somehow figure it out and we win this game 28-10, like the storylines on Monday morning, the headlines on Monday morning, the first topic of everyone is going to be the Buffalo Bills are dead, the Jets look good, and they're battling for first place, convincingly handling the Buffalo Bills. And all the shit people have been talking for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, absolutely wiped away. Completely forget that Zach Wilson's inept. Completely forget that I hate CJ Uzomah more than anything right now. Completely forget that Michael Carter was even part of this team. Just the whole entire season can be reframed and redirected and talked about in a whole new way if we come out here and handle the Buffalo Bills like we know we can. It's great. It's a great spot to be. We control our destiny here. Just got to go do it on Sunday afternoon.
It's crazy because I feel like we have 2 primetime games, man. It's one of the 2 standalone 425 games. Like if you're watching Red Zone, there's only 2 games.
It's the game of the instead of what is it, America's Game of the Day or whatever they call it on CBS.
I don't know if it's a Fox or a CBS game, honestly.
It's going to be Fox. It's going to be what's his name? It's going to be Tony Romo freaking out about Josh Allen.
Is it actually Tony Romo?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's CBS.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, look at his arm. Jim, look at his arm. His arm's so good. Oh, his arm's so good. Yeah, CBS. Is it, like I said, I think it's America's Game of the Week.
So
it's definitely not the America's Game of the Week. Is definitely not Tampa Bay, San Francisco.
No, the 420. There's only 2 425s. It's Rams, Seahawks, and Jets, Bills.
Yeah,
the 405 is
not America's.
Tampa.
Rams, Seahawks is not America's Game of the Week.
So 2 primetime games. 2 more primetime games for the Jets, man. That's 4 in a row. So honestly, really, there's a primetime game in my eyes.
Yeah, so like technically, I don't think the Black Friday game is a primetime game. Did we get to the bottom of that? Is it? I saw you talking on Twitter this week, Jay Meleka on Twitter. Is it a primetime game? Is it not a primetime game? What is it?
I don't know. Kaz from the Daily News, or no, from the Post. Sorry, saying that there's a possibility that the Jets Texans could be flexed into a Monday night game, which would be crazy because it's going to be a cold. Honestly, if that's a guaranteed W for the Jets. I'm telling you. A MetLife Monday night versus the Texans, it's going to be cold. I know it's CJ Stroud, but we have the defense. He's a rookie. Like we have the top defense. So that's where I'm at with that. So that'd be good for the Jets. My question was, the Jets already maxed out at 6 primetime games. However, other people said that the Black Friday technically doesn't count as prime time, but it's a TNF. It's Amazon. Technically Thursday night.
Yeah, it's the Thursday night crew, and it's a standalone game. I mean, it seems like as much like prime time as it can get.
I know. I don't know how else it could be more. So whatever. If it's not great, I would like another primetime game. I'm not scared of the prime time. The only thing that sucks about primetime games is it's cold though. Sitting at MetLife at night. I mean, that's the honest truth. Yeah. And it sucks going home at 1 a.m. After the Jets lose. And you're sitting in the parking lot for 4 hours. Like it just sucks. And the vibes are different. But anyway, enough of that. Morstead, we need Morstead to keep doing what he's doing, but I need the Gunners to man up. Last week we gave up huge plays, especially before the half, and we didn't field anything. There was 2 punts that could have been fielded within the 5. We have to do better than that. Justin Hardy, I miss you, man. We need to man up in the special teams. Number 2, Greg the Leg, you keep it up. 3, Zach Wilson, no turnovers. 4, feed Brees Hall. 5, Garrett Wilson Garrett Wilson has to be the wide receiver that we think he can be.
Yes.
Listen, man, I'm so sick of he's getting away with his name. And it's crazy because he's only a second-year player. Anybody else is doing what Garrett Wilson's doing, we're freaking out. Yes, he's having amazing catches, but overall, he's fumbling the ball when we need it, and he's dropping the ball on third downs, and we suck on third downs. Like, you need to not fumble the ball when we're driving, and you need to catch the ball from Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson gets you the ball near you, you have to catch it. That's the rule.
Yeah.
You got to man up. We need the tight ends to figure it out, and we need no penalties on the defense. We haven't gotten one game yet so far, Greg. We haven't got one game so far without penalties that have absolutely crushed us on the defense. Maybe a turnover would be nice, but I don't think we've lost games. I don't think we lost one game where we won the turnover battle. So 22-18 Jets. FanDuel already knows that's the score because you can't bet on the score. 22-18 doesn't exist. That's it from me, man. Send us off here, Greg. Send us off with some positivity. Send us off with the score.
I think it's 23-13.
And then let me know. And let me know what the Raiders and the Dolphins are going to do. So I know
next it's 23-13, and I'm hoping that the Raiders win outright. It's that simple. It sets up an incredible game for next week, but I can't focus on that. I'm too busy worrying about the Jets handling business this week against this Buffalo Bills. I mean, like we've said all episode, dude, the Bills are reeling to try to figure this out against this defense. This offense is in trouble. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think it's an ugly game. I think Brees Hall was in the end zone, scored a touchdown last week. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. It did get called back, but I think Brees Hall finds the end zone maybe once, maybe twice. Like I said, 23-13.
I like that.
I think we get it done. On the back of Greg the Leg. You talked about Tommy Morstead. He's been phenomenal. Greg the Leg's been phenomenal. Special teams needs to be phenomenal. We're going to win the defensive side of the ball. Our defensive team's going to win against the Bills offense. The question is can our special teams beat their special teams? Because then our offense just needs to not get embarrassed, which against this beat up defense, I think the offense can handle themselves. So
I'm going to say something weird. I think the offense is going to act different.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the background noise, to say it lightly, when Izzy the rookie was talking his first ever pre-week press conference. Someone in the back is screaming out, Michael Carter. Give me a freaking break. Whatever loser that was, we should cut him. I don't care who it was. I actually don't care who it was. Like, I don't think, because there's no way it was Brees, and there's no way it was Garrett. I mean, otherwise, I honestly would consider like really finding that guy like in-house or really doing something. That's BS, man. It's really Bush League.
Yeah. It's immature.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. And honestly,
it's embarrassing.
Yeah, you really got to coming from the same locker room that was wearing T-shirts of Mike White with Zach Wilson in the same locker room. I mean, give me a break. We got to man up a little bit. We got to mature. I hope Aaron Rodgers says a word to them. That's it for this week.
Yes.
Next week, Jets versus Dolphins for the AFC East.
Ooh,
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Like and subscribe on YouTube if you're listening. Give us a comment and a star if you're listening on audio for Spotify or Apple. And we out. Meleka on Twitter. Knicks come, Jets come, etc. Period.